Hey, hello, welcome everyone. This is LorettaLoveHuff. Hey, Scope Scribe, welcome. So if you would, in the chat box, actually, if you want to say your name and where you're scoping in from, that'd be awesome. Welcome to the Scope today. My name is LorettaLoveHuff. I just finished a class at South Mountain Community College. I teach entrepreneurship classes here. From the fire, welcome from the fire. Appreciate you being here. So I'm going to give people a few minutes to join in, so I want to welcome everybody that does show up. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I'm very excited about the content that I have to share today and want to see if you have any questions that I can answer for you about the sales process. I'll certainly be happy to do that. AGZ Dope, hi, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Okay, this is LorettaLoveHuff. And let's see, RD... Hello there. Thank you, AG. Appreciate that. So I can't read all of your Twitter handles. So RDVN, somebody welcome. I appreciate you being here. So I want to talk about these 7 things. The last scope that I did was one of the about the best investment that you could make in your business, and it was in self-development. And I went to a conference on Saturday and learned a lot of things. I wanted to share some of the things that I heard. Era Ganzi, welcome. Hi, thanks so much. Who was that? From the fire. Welcome. Glad to know you too. Appreciate the hearts. I think that was DK3S. I'm not sure. Appreciate you being here. So we're talking about 7 strategies for sales success. And as I mentioned, I had just done a scope a few days ago about the most important investment that you could make, and it's investing in yourself. Developing yourself, going to conferences, learning things, having a coach, reading, but doing things to improve your skills and to improve yourself in your own persona so that you're much more effective at what it is that you do. I'm a business coach and a professional speaker and author. I speak, coach, train, and write on business topics such as marketing and sales, and also leadership and management. I spent I won't say how long, but a long time in corporate America in a number of leadership positions, many of which were in human resources. Thank you for the purple hearts. I appreciate that. For those of you who may be new to Periscope, how you give hearts is by tapping on the screen, and I always appreciate those. So thank you, purple hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's awesome. So I spent years in corporate America in some fabulous companies like DreamWorks and Apple and Sega of America and Sears when it was a big deal. Hi, Kaizen, appreciate it. MC76, welcome. So I used to do a lot of executive coaching. I still do some, but I work primarily with business owners to help them grow their businesses, to help them figure out, who their ideal clients are, what it is that they're trying to accomplish, and how to develop marketing plans. Hi, welcome, welcome. The names are going away too fast. USO Active, welcome. Appreciate it. So let me just dive right into today's content. As I said, I went to, thank you for the hearts, went to a conference on Saturday and learned some things, none of which were brand new to me. And that's the thing about sales and marketing. A lot of the best practices are not new. The problem is that many of us aren't doing them on a consistent basis. So here are the tips. So the first one is having daily exposures, letting people know what you do. One of the courses that I offer is called Get Clients Now. And it's really a magical program, and I'm not here selling you on it, but I want to talk about how it operates because it was life-changing for me and has been for many of my clients. So in that program, we actually put together marketing strategy and specific things. Hi, Polly Clow. Put together specific marketing tactics. And one of the things that I discover when I'm working with my clients is that they're inconsistent in their marketing. They're doing a variety of things. They may not be doing the best things for their business. They're doing what's kind of new and trendy. It may not be the best thing for you to do. So, so hopefully these ideas I'm going to share today, and if you have questions about them or comments or yes, I think that's a great idea, or I tried that one and here's what happened for me, I'd love to see those in the chat box as well. So the first one is to plan, and so the reason I brought up Get Clients Now is because one of the theories of that book is that marketing is really very simple. And all it is, welcome Young Blow, appreciate it, telling people what you do and telling them over and over and over again, and telling them in a variety of ways. So doing it on feel like that at the moment, running on too many directions. I totally can get that. I have a lot of ideas in my head. And I could be running in multiple directions all the time, so I totally relate to that. And so part of what's required is focusing. Thank you for that orange heart. So identify. So telling people what you do and telling them over and over again. So tip number 1 is do quality exposures of your business to people who are potential customers of yours, and do it in a specific way. So tell them how you help people. So you don't have to like sell people and force them, but you need to Suave Chris, hey, welcome. You need to tell people what you do, maybe some stories about how you've helped other people, and be, most importantly, and this isn't on my list but it just came to me, be curious about what they're dealing with. People will respond to you a lot more, thanks for those hearts, if you come at them like you're wanting to help. A singer-songwriter, well, I don't know. If you're a singer-songwriter, there probably are specific markets, unless you unless you sing about every genre. There are certain people who will resonate to certain things. So my husband's a musician, and there's a woman who sings in one of the places where he plays sometimes, and she's a blues singer, and not everybody loves the blues. So there's a particular market that loves the blues. There's another market that loves, Broadway show tunes. So you do have a market singer, you just may not know who that is, but think about it. R&B soul, there you go. So there's a specific category, Motown, and people who love Motown. So you want to know who's your market. And you want to tell people that you are a singer or you are a coach. And here are some examples of some of the songs that you love singing. Or here are some of the clients that I've worked with. Or just, as I was saying earlier, find out what people are really struggling with that's related to how you help them. And just be kind of helpful. Don't come at people. I hate it when I go to networking events and people are trying to sell me on their services right there in the event. Don't do that. But do tell people what you do. If people don't know what you do, there's no chance they're going to buy anything from you. So tip number 1 is daily exposures, daily conversations with someone about what it is that you do. Not necessarily here, buy from me today, but exposure so that more and more people know about you. So if you're a singer, be targeted, right? Figure out who your audience is and let either them or people who work with them but aren't competitors of yours know what you do and how you help people. So the second thing is follow up daily. And this is one of the things that I find a lot of people fall down on. So maybe they're out and they're doing all these exposures, but the leads get lost and they don't follow up with them. And people have busy lives. I don't remember who said that, but like, you feel like you're going in 1,000 different directions. Your prospects are also going in 1,000 different directions. And so I know a lot of people are afraid to follow up because they don't want to bug people, but sales happen with follow-up. I don't remember all the exact numbers, but I'll cut to the chase. So basically, most sales happen after I think it's 7th or 8th contact, and most salespeople give up after the first 1 or 2. So think about that. Most sales happen after the 7th conversation, and most people have given up after the first time they've reached out to somebody. So if you're one of those people who, makes one phone call, that's good. Wow, I know. So it's really inspiring, isn't it? So people don't want to follow up because they don't want to hound people. And there's a way to do it so that you aren't annoying, because I've had an annoying salesperson that I eventually hung up on because he wouldn't leave me alone and he wasn't listening to me. But if you're thoughtful in your follow-up, and if you are concerned about them and not just trying to push your agenda, but trying to help them solve their problem. Thank you for the hearts. Hi, welcome there, Miranda White, welcome. So if you're helpful, they will respond to that. And people aren't always ready to buy from you the moment that you meet them. So you can follow up with email, you can follow up with blog articles, you can send them things in the mail, you can call them on the telephone, you can send them Facebook messages or connect with them on LinkedIn, you can offer them things. You need to follow up. So have exposures and then follow up with people. The third one might be getting people, to an event, or getting people to something that you're hosting, or giving them some exposure to you. So it might be Inviting them to come on a scope that you're doing, or inviting them to a teleseminar that you're conducting, or doing a webinar or a live speaking gig, and help them come there. So when people see you in different ways, they'll get a deeper appreciation of who you are, what your style is like, whether or not they like you, whether or not they think you might be able to help them, whether you seem helpful, if you seem like their kind of person. So get them someplace where they can learn more about you. So it might be an automated webinar, it might be a webinar that you're hosting that's live, it might even be like a sit-down meeting with them where you can talk. Thank you. Is that a list? I can't quite say. Candy. I saw the candy part. So follow up with people, and then have some way to expose them to what it is that you're doing so they get some sense of it. So it might be a video series. So one of the things that I offer are video series. I'm a freelance, yes, sort of. So I have my own business. My business is called Emerald Harvest Consulting. I'm a business coach, a executive coach, and a professional speaker. And I help business owners grow their businesses with marketing strategies. I help people in corporate America get the recognition that they crave and deserve so they can move up the ladder. And once they get up the ladder, I help them actually lead their teams more productively. So I speak, coach, train, and write on business communications, marketing, sales, leadership, and management. Those are my specialties. And conflict resolution. I wrote a whole book on conflict resolution. And it's actually one of the most the most frequently requested talk that I do is called When Off With Their Heads Won't Work. So I don't know if you guys have ever, run into somebody whose head you wanted to take off because they were just annoying the heck out of you. But I have strategies. I won't go into that. That's a whole different scope. I have strategies to help you communicate your needs and desires and find out where they are and kind of come to some, how do I see some of my speeches? You can go to YouTube. Look up LorettaLoveHuff on YouTube. I have several snippets of things there. My speaker website is LorettaLoveHuff.com. You can go there. I've got several videos there you can take a look at. And I kind of speak the way I am with you. Not normally in my car. I'm usually on a stage someplace or on the telephone or a webinar. But my style is kind of my style. So this is who I am. You're getting a sense of it right now. So follow up daily. Have some at least weekly exposure to people. Thanks again for the hearts, where people can see you, see the videos that you've done, see the scopes that you're doing if you're a broadcaster yourself. And then have a monthly goal. So maybe the monthly goal is to take it one step further. So what would be the next step after, and I'm doing this so that you can think for your business or your career, what would be the steps that you would take people through? So these are kind of generic steps, and then I'm going to tell you actually what my specific steps are, because once I saw these 7, I thought, well, I'm doing that, so let me just identify that. So a monthly goal might get them to something that's a little bit more commitment on their part. So maybe it's a conversation where you're actually diving into what their concerns and problems are and their goals. And then, if you're trying to build a team, it might be, because this was a network marketing event that I was at. So the next one was get a new recruit. So get somebody on your team and get them to training. Grady, hey, welcome. So you want to, if you're building a team, you want to make sure that they're getting the kind of education that they need, that they're getting connected to the community, that they're getting the tools and resources that they need, that they're getting a sense of belonging and that feeling of, oh, I could do this. So that's one of the great things about professional development, and a lot of the network marketing companies do a really great job at this. So they create a culture of excitement and collaboration. They create a culture of empowerment, and it's possible for you. A lot of people think life's just not possible. Well, it depends on what network. So a lot of the network marketing companies have their own events. So they have local events weekly sometimes more than once a week. Many of them have monthly events. So if you're in a network marketing group, you could probably go online if there was a particular one you were interested in and find a lot of people either on YouTube or just on the internet that will talk about network training. There was a guy that I saw, gosh, I wish I remembered his name, I don't right now, who has written a fabulous book, anywhere. That's true. Go to any networking event, they're everywhere. And people will tell you, what group they're, hi there. People will tell you what their company is. And, some of them are better at befriending and being helpful, and some of them are just like darn pushy, which is not my style. But you want to, if you're going to a networking event and you're the one it's kind of marketing yourself. You want to be more interested in the people that you're talking to than trying to like sell them on your opportunity right away. All right. So so if you are building a network marketing thing, you want to get your team to the events, because then you have less work to have to do on your own. You'll have, the big superstars that are making a gazillion dollars, training them and inspiring them and creating that, oh my God, I can do this. I want to do this. And, when you've got a number of people around you, okay, thank you. When you've got a number of people around you, then it's easier to get caught up in the positive uplifting, yes, it's possible for me to make this happen, than if you're trying to do it all on your own in the, could be darkness of your home office where it feels very alone and you feel not very connected and maybe not very possible. So get to events. That is really very helpful. And that was one of the reasons that I talked about professional development being a great investment, because the more training you get on exactly what to do and what to say and what not to do and what not to say, and the more you're around people who are also trying to make things happen, the more likely you'll be able to do that. So then, the next level of commitment might be, if you're in a network marketing group, get people to a national convention. Go yourself and get the rest of your people there, again, for the same reasons: the training, the sense of possibility, the community, the, oh my God, yes, we can do it, yes, we're rocking it. It's so much easier, I think, to feel really positive and uplifted and optimistic about the future when you're around other people who are feeling positive and uplifted and optimistic. Just as easy to get pulled down into the mire of, oh my God, ain't life awful, if all the people around you are, oh my God, ain't life awful. You get caught up in that. I heard this quote that, and you may have heard it as well, that you are, that you earn, I'd say the on average, the 7 people that you hang around with, you probably earn about the same amount that they do. So if you are not earning as much as you want to earn, this is kind of a bonus tip here, then start hanging around with different people. Don't hang around with the people who are always complaining about and never getting opportunities. Find people who see possibility in life and who are moving forward and doing something. Hang around with them. Okay, so then the next thing is rinse and repeat. So let me give you just a sense of, in my business, what that looks like. So as I said, I'm a professional speaker, but these tips are mostly about, well, actually, it's kind of a combination of me. I work from home. I work from home too, yes. And I am an introvert, in spite of how I might seem not like that now and on some of my videos. I am basically an introvert, and I would much rather sit in my computer and write things, really, than go out networking with people, because it's a little uncomfortable for me. I have to really get my energy up. So I know I'm not alone. But I do know that I need to go out. I hadn't been out for a long time, at as many events that I used to go to, and I kind of made the same decision a few weeks ago, like, I got to get someplace. And so, get yourself out and talk with people who are of similar minds, who are optimistic and moving forward and looking up and, not whining and complaining about things, because that won't help very much. Okay, so in my business, here are the steps that I go through to grow my business. So I schedule, and these are my 7 steps. I don't actually do them every week. I don't always make them happen, but this is my intent. This is my plan. So you want to have a plan for how you're going to grow your business. Thanks again for the hearts. So what works for me is scheduling a speaking gig every week. So it might be me scheduling it for a teleseminar that I'm doing, or it might be reaching out to a networking group that's filled with what I think are my ideal clients, or it might be me reaching out to somebody and doing a teleseminar or a webinar to their community. But what works for me is booking a speaking gig, because at the speaking gig, people will decide whether or not they like my style, whether or not I'm helpful, whether or not they can see themselves working with me. And for those people who aren't interested, that's perfectly fine, because I'm not meant to serve everybody and you're not meant to serve everybody. But when you're doing a speaking gig, people will get a really good sense of, they like you, they value your opinion, and they'll decide if, yes, they want to do something further with you. So I book a speaking gig once a week. I then conduct a speaking gig once a week. So when I've got speaking gigs, then that's where I get to meet people and have all that kind of magic happen. So I did one last Thursday, and a few of the women, actually many of the women who were there, You started scoping. Good for you. And it really, at the very beginning, for those of you who are broadcasters, it can be kind of nerve-wracking right at the beginning. And I'm actually in the middle of a 30-day challenge where I'm supposed to scope every day. So I haven't done it every day, but being in that challenge and having that goal of 30 scopes made me, find things to talk about and made me find the courage to actually get the thing done. So kudos to you for stepping out there. So let's see. So book a speaking gig, conduct a speaking gig. So I was talking about the one that I just was at. So a lot of the women who were there, I knew about half of them, maybe fewer, maybe a third of them had actually seen me speak before. And I am on Scope Success. Yeah. So from the fire, I'll see you in the Facebook group. So at the beginning of it, my technology wasn't working, even though I had set it up. And so I had to kind of ad-lib there and shuffle for a little bit while the technology got to work. And I told the story of how I met my now husband back in the 70s, and I didn't marry him then. And, it's a long story, which I won't go into here. I married a couple of other guys, for... let's see, how long was I married to them? Actually 12 years. So I'm now married to my husband now, longer than I was married to the first two guys. But it was an interesting story. I won't go into it here. Actually, I think I talked about it in another scope. I think I did. So you have to go look at some of the replays on Catch. I can't remember what the name of it was, but I don't have a ton of them. But it was about, I can't remember what it was about, so you have to go check it out, sorry. But because I told that story, people got so much more connected with me than me just giving them the data that I was there to give them. So I was there generally talking about marketing topics. This one was about leadership and marketing. But because I shared the story about my hubby and how we got, separated and back together again, 30 years later, and now we're married, it was a great story. And they really resonated with that. And one of them actually came up to me afterwards and said, "Oh my God, you seem so different now," because I was, this human being. And people really love that. So in the class that I'm teaching, one of the women here is in a storytelling class. And you may have heard this. It's actually really useful. So you may have heard this phrase, stories, facts tell, stories sell. So people want to know who you are. And if you can communicate, who you are through stories, thank you so much. If you communicate who you are through stories, they'll relate to you a lot better and decide that they like you and they want to do business with you than if you're just telling them the facts, which, is my inclination because I'm an analytical, fact kind of person. But I also know stories are really helpful, and I actually now enjoy telling stories. So, schedule a book, schedule a speaking gig, do a speaking gig, schedule consultations. So how I connect with clients, generally, I have some products online, but most of the coaching work that I do comes out of a conversation that I have. So when I'm at a speaking gig, I'll offer the opportunity for people to work with me, to talk with me, not even work with me, to talk with me privately about their situation. And in that conversation, we then decide that we're a good match for each other or not. And they'll either decide to work with me or not. So conducting some kind of conversation where the sales happen. When I'm doing this Get Clients Now program, there are a lot of marketing activities, networking and asking for referrals and, posting things on social media, a lot of marketing strategies that I, oh good. Oh, I think I recognize that. So put your name in there because I don't quite remember your name, but I know who that is. Is that Mary Lynn? That might have been Mary Lynn. Well, I don't know about that. I knew some people who were in Amway who actually were making some money. So it depends. You have to work the business. You're not going to make money in any network marketing company just by getting in it. You actually need to open your mouth and do all the things I've talked about here. Tell people what you do, have a conversation with them, and provide help and value to them. So having consultations is where people decide, and I decide, if we want to work together. So you got to figure out for your business, what are the steps that you go through. So my goal is then to have like 4 of those a week, and then have at least one sale out of that. So typically, 1 out of 3 people that I talk to will do something with me. And I know that, so I didn't have that as a tip, but you want to know, of the sales conversations that you have, how many sales conversations do you need to have before somebody says yes? So that way, and it's not going to be like every third person hires me. Sometimes I go in a row and I've got like 4 in a row, and then there's like 4 people that say no in a row. But on average, for me, it's 1 in 3. So for you, it might be 1 in 2, might be 1 in 10. Kind of depends on what it is that you're, selling and what the price points are and how effective you are. But you need to know those numbers. So how many things do you need to do at the beginning of your pipeline in order to get people in the pipeline? How many people in your pipeline are likely to buy? What do you need to do with them? What does it take to actually close a sale? I just thought of another story. So my second husband actually, we had a business together, and we were doing financing for small companies. And it turned out he wasn't actually great at closing deals. And at some point I said, I think it would be helpful, and this was before I even learned a lot about marketing, I think it'd be helpful for you to keep track of how many conversations do you have with people. How many of those conversations turn into you sending a proposal to them? How many of those people who get a proposal actually sign the thing and say yes? Because what does that do? That helps you figure out how much activity you need to have in order to end up with a sale. Even if the sale is going to take 6 months to close, you know that I need to have this many conversations to even have that thing close in 6 months. So you want to know that about your business. So I hold, sessions during the week. Close 1 sale is my weekly goal, and then reach out to former clients. So you might think that once somebody's worked with you, wow, keep track of the engagements. I do. I actually have a spreadsheet because I'm an analytical person, right? So I have a spreadsheet where I've listed like all the people that I've talked to, what the date is, at what venue, or how I met them, whether they were on LinkedIn or was somebody found me on a website, or they were at a speaking gig that I went to. When we had the conversation, did they buy something then? If so, how much was it for? So I actually know like how much each conversation is worth on average, whether or not somebody says yes, because I'm pretty sure that 1 in 3 people are going to say yes to something. So somebody might be, a 5-figure deal. Somebody might be a $47 product. Kind of depends on their urgency and their need, and how much they have to invest. But for your business, what would that be for you? So what would be your 7 steps? So I'm going to repeat them really quickly here, the general one. So have quality exposure. So let people know what you do. Follow up with people every day. Call somebody every day. Hopefully somebody you've kind of recently reached out to, because if your follow-up takes 6 months to get to, they may have forgotten why they were even interested. So get people to some event where they're either getting more exposure to you and your expertise and how you might help them, or get them then to some other event where they can learn more about your industry. And then have a goal for, one closer step to working with you. If you're having a team, get more people on your team, get them to events, and then rinse and repeat. Okay, that's kind of the thing. So I hope you found those helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll hang out here for a little bit and see if you have any questions, but I think those 7 tips are really helpful. Again, my name is LorettaLoveHuff. I'm the Dream Leader for Business. I help people and teams exceed their dreams. I specialize in service-based businesses, primarily women, who are struggling with their marketing. So I help them put together targeted marketing plans. And hi, welcome, Bublina. So I thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks so much from the fire. Appreciate it. And for those of you, because I'm just about to wrap up, so those of you who just got here, check the replay, because I did give all the 7 tips and some stories and examples of how things all worked out. So I work with service-based business owners to help them grow their businesses by figuring out who their ideal client is, where they're hanging out, how to market to them, what to say to them, and how to get more clients, and how to raise their prices as well. And then I work with people in corporate America who are trying to move up the corporate ladder, or who have moved up and now have a team that they need to lead more effectively. So I appreciate it. I didn't ask anybody to share the broadcast, but if you're still here and you want to share the broadcast, I would appreciate that as well. So you can swipe up or swipe left or right, I forget what it is on an iPhone, and share it with either your Twitter followers or your Periscope followers if you have followers. Thanks so much. If you want to reach out to me, my website, my speaker website, thank you, I appreciate that, is LorettaLoveHuff.com, just like my Twitter handle, and my name here on Periscope. And my business website is emeraldharvest.com. So emerald like the gemstone, harvest like the fall event.com. Thank you again for the hearts. I love you, Purple. Appreciate it. Have a great day. I'm going to say bye now. Take care.